Hi, Phoenix. How are you today?
Hey, Dean, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on your podcast today.
Well, I am delighted that you are here, and I know we're going to have a wonderful chat.
Yes, sir. Yes, we are.
So, we will begin at the beginning. And your life experiences, to put it mildly, have, my understanding, has been challenging.
It was, yes, yes, absolutely. It was extraordinarily challenging. Definitely leaving home at age 14 and having to learn to survive out on the streets and imagining everything bad that could possibly happen to you. It did happen, except for luckily I'm still alive and very blessed today. So, yeah.
Do you understand that the nature of your difficult experiences was part of your pre incarnate choice?
I believe, you know what, Dean, I'm going to agree with what you are asking. The answer is yes. I even believe that we choose the people that, are going to help procreate us to become humans in my mother's womb. And I believe I chose that so I could elevate my consciousness, raise my consciousness, or elevate to the highest consciousness, which I believe is unconditional love.
Undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, you are absolutely right on cue. And let me ask you the intensity of your initial experiences.
Yeah.
How much does your recollection of those serve as the basis of your prevailing beliefs?
How much of my recollection serves as my prevailing? Give me an example. I'm not understanding that question so much. So this way I
Okay,
can.
well, you define a lot of childhood traumas.
Not just childhood. I mean, it went from the age of 14, probably earlier than that because of child molestations, until I'm going to say till the age of 30 or 32. 30 or 32 is where I really started to
Well, you're not much
start to
older
crack.
than that now. That was last year.
No, actually, I'm about to have a birthday Tuesday. This Tuesday on July 21st, I'm about to turn 50.
Okay. Right. Well, I was giving you the opportunity. I was setting you up.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so you had experiences that were deemed to be traumatic,
Yes,
and you
very.
also had experiences that were simply stressful,
Yes.
significantly stressful.
Yes.
How would you distinguish the difference between those experiences that you interpret as traumatic as opposed to those that were simply stressful?
I'm going to say if you're asking me for a percentage, a ratio, the traumatic parts I would say was in the military, childhood, in my 20s with the drug addiction. That was traumatic. The stressful part I'm going to say was learning to heal because I was stressed out, not understanding why I acted or did the things that I did.
Hmm.
So I would rather every day have a stressful day than have to experience trauma anymore, which gratefully I do not. I live a great life today. Are there stressors? Absolutely. Do I have the tools to pull something out of my toolbox and be like, oh, I know how to take care of that? Yes, I do. But to say that I had a stressful life, I'm going to say the majority of it has been stressful. But today, living in grace, doing things with grace and peace and tranquility and going through my stress, man, it makes my life a thousand times enjoyable, a thousand times. I always tell people, like, I live with constant, like, there, I love Jesus, but he always says, he's like, I want to give you my peace and my joy that's everlasting. And there's something about his truth that I experience that peace and that joy constant, even though my life, there are moments of stress. I still always hold that and live by that principle and exude that coming out of me. Like it's so great today. It is so great today, living with peace and still having to have life stressors. But back then, the different kind of stress that I was experiencing, I had no tools. I didn't have therapy. I didn't understand modalities and techniques that I could have applied to not have turned to drugs or alcohol or continue to have a lot of mental illness issues and exude that really heavily. And so, yeah, it's a difference today than it was back.
One reason that I'm attempting to pursue this as deeply as we can is because you have that variety of experience. You
Right.
have the
Big.
experience of being under the stress and the traumas always, and also having experience being out from under the
Yep.
oppressiveness of that experience.
Yeah, Dean. Oh, yeah. Let's dig.
So have you, in retrospect, can you identify the nature of the experiences, what differs from the nature of the experiences that you deem to be traumatic as opposed to those that were stressful?
Okay.
What aspect of you or what aspect of the experiences defined one is traumatic and one is stressful?
Okay. Let's, yeah, absolutely. I can do that. I'll give you an example. So examples is how I can share those moments. My final rock bottom, blacked out drunk, destroying my whole home, not understanding why I was so sick. I didn't understand. I felt very unloved, very sick, very alone, even though I had a significant other who, for some odd reason, wanted to be with me because nobody should have wanted to be with me at 30 years old, an alcoholic, a drug addict, mentally lost, waking up every day to drink, to do drugs just to suppress any kind of inner stress was not conducive to my life or anyone's life in general. Anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, I'll give you a prime example. I just recently, a year ago, as of this month, moved to Texas, and I left here with not having any furniture. And again, I sold or gave everything away. Left my career in Denver that I was doing very well for 2 years in Denver. Left it to come and write this book, start my company. The stress is my money. I have depleted a lot of my money. And the fact that I came out saying, hey, I'm a personal trainer and I'm known as the unconventional counselor. I'm out trying to promote my company. And little by little, the stress is like, hey, I need more clients to survive. However, I'm always relying on the tools, marketing, the tools, getting out there, networking, uh, and saying to myself, okay, how am I going to handle my financial situation, which has not been a problem, but how am I going to handle that, Finex? Well, don't sit in your house because you're not going to meet people sitting in your home. Go join a gym, go network with people, go places where you know that you can just go be this little light of, this little shining light, and
Mm-hmm.
offer your services at a more affordable rate than anyone else. And so that's how quickly I'm acquiring clients today as a personal trainer, and sometimes as the unconventional counselor, where I use specific techniques to help people who have in the past or who are having stress and anxiety from things that happened to them in the past. And so I've been acquiring clients on my own, and my business is growing. But is there stress because I'm thinking, man, I'm not where I need to be financially? Yes, yes. But like I said, I chose this path. I chose to leave Denver. I chose to leave a solid career to come and pursue my passions, or I'm going to say my calling, properly said, my calling, and fulfill what God has asked me to do, or my higher consciousness. I say God for me, but yeah. Yes. So yes, and
Okay.
I don't allow the stress to be like, oh, Finex, I should go get a drink, which I haven't touched a drink in many, many years, or Finex, I should go get some marijuana, which is very illegal in Texas, and I would never do anything illegal. So the fact that I say, you know what, go to the gym, go walking with your dog, go, or go in meditation, do a prayer, journal about it, call a friend, call somebody, use the techniques that you do, and keep moving forward for next. And that's what I do with positive attitude. Absolutely. And I still got stress.
Okay. So
Yeah.
would you classify what you have done personally and what you aid other people in doing as healing? Would you
Yeah.
clarify that or classify that as healing?
Yeah. So one of the things that I do, I help people I use neuroscientific techniques, body touch. So I teach people where to touch their bodies, and I use neuro-linguistics programming to change or erase, desensitize traumatic memories, or help to de-stress. So I use it on myself. I will use the techniques on myself, and I use NLP on myself. So I even hypnotize myself without needing anyone to hypnotize me. I do it on my own. And then I just start to use my own techniques that I would use on a client for myself. because I always say if I can do it myself, then I can definitely do it for others. And I live by what I preach and teach. Like, hey, if you need the help to de-stress, uh, get release some of that depression, release that anxiety, release some of that stress, even physical body stress. I teach a lot of my clients that, and I do it for myself, including physical injuries. I was in physical therapy for 10 years. There was a major car accident in 2015 where me and this my ex-spouse's nephew, we took a test drive. We test drove a Camaro. Within 3 minutes we pulled into the highway. Apparently there had been a car accident about a mile up ahead, and this lady, not even on her phone, I'm guessing, slammed into us going 75 miles an hour without even braking because she wasn't looking. And by the time it was too late, I mean, she had smashed the whole Camaro.
Mhm.
And I ended up having 5 bulging discs.
Wow.
What is it? Traumatic brain injury. I now have what is it? Stigmatism in my eyes because of that. So I have to wear prescription glasses. Never had to wear that. I had damaged sciatic nerves. I was walking with a cane, and I had to take 10 years of physical therapy to learn to heal my body. And today I have clients like, let's say, I think his name is he'll let me tell you this. He'll let me tell you this. His name is Mark Ackley. Mark is a former Special Ops Marine, big, ginormous, buff guy. And I'm only 5 feet, 125 pounds, 5 feet. So I'm a little shorty thing. And he hires me. He recently had hired me because he injured his body where he knew he could barely even walk. So he came to me saying, look, I don't want a physical therapist. I don't want a doctor. Can you help me? And I said, well, with the 10 years of experience of me having to walk on a cane, and now I can squat 185 pounds, I think I can help you, Mark. And today, it took me 3 months to help this man twice a week. And then he would do his homework. I would send him with homework to go in the gym and do these things. Today, he's back to lifting extraordinarily heavy, getting ready for a dive. He's going this weekend to go anaconda hunting in Florida, to go catch all these anaconda snakes by the hand. And I'm like, only you, Mark, only you can do this. And so everything that I say that I do because I had to live it myself. I had to walk with that cane to be able to learn how to heal my body from the inside out or from the outside in. And now I can do that for others. I can show others. Or if someone, I had another client who's like, hey, you know what? I had a traumatic memory that keeps coming up, and I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of dreaming about it every single night, Phoenix, every single night. And I said, well, I use these techniques to desensitize your memories. You want to try it? And they're like, yeah, I'd be willing to try it. And within 15 minutes, it's that one. I asked them again, hey, can you see it in your mind? The answer is, no, I actually don't see it. All right, well, call me tomorrow. Let me know. And they're like, hey, I didn't have a dream. Okay, well, call me the next day and let me know how that goes. Hey, I haven't even thought about it, nor have I had a dream. I just want you to know whatever you're doing for next, keep doing it because it's working. I had to go through learning how to desensitize my entire life, my entire traumas. So now that I can go do that for others very gently and easily, along with personal training and healing traumatic memories, or just helping people get out of that depressed state. So, yeah.
So most every modality that promotes healing relies upon desensitization
Yes,
in some form or fashion.
in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
some are more effective in going deeper in that desensitization. Some are more expeditious than
Yes.
others, but they rely on that desensitization, which is focusing what?
It focuses on just healing rapidly. It is
Yeah, but what
rapid.
is the tool? What is the
Oh, so
tool?
one of them is havening. I don't know if you've ever heard of havening. So I'm a havening techniques practitioner. I had to take a medical exam. I had to go through almost a year of training for this, and I had to submit my videos with other clients that allowed me to video them to the medical practitioners or the doctors. I think it's Dr. Rubin. He was the one who created it. Him and his brother created these techniques overseas in Europe, and they're bringing it to the States. And I fell upon it, and I was like, I want to try what that is. I have memories that I needed to erase. No matter how much therapy I went through, there were still some traumas that would just creep up in the forefront of my mind. I could be eating dinner and boop, there it is. Like, hey, Fenix, do you remember this shameful thing that you did? And I'm just like, man, I forgive myself. So why do I keep seeing it? Well, my mind wanted to remind me of saying, hey, I just want to keep you safe. So just in case, I'm going to show it to you, randomly at random times of the week or something. And I was like, man, I don't need you. I don't need you in my head playing with my emotions. And so once I learned havening, then I also applied neuro-linguistics programming. So I learned from Paul McKenna, who is like the number one hypnotherapist all over the world. I learned from him how to do hypnotherapy, but I apply it only for one, for myself, for career wise, things like that, for writing. Number two, to heal my own traumatic memories. And then I said, you know what? Let me try this with some friends. Let me try this with some clients, see if they're willing to, without pay. First off, it was without pay. Like, hey, I want to see if these can work for you. And people were like, no, this is working for next. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So I combined the two together
Mm-hmm.
for the havening and the hypnotherapy to desensitize memories. And of course, the physical therapy, that is just physical desensitization by doing therapy moves along with personal training, standard, of course, fitness,
Mm-hmm.
weightlifting, stuff like that,
Okay.
stretching,
Well,
things like
let me put a bug in your ear, if I
that.
may.
Sir, tell me.
The techniques that you're describing, I'm sure, are very effective, but the tool that we have as humans
Hmm.
is awareness.
Yes.
And it's awareness that actually is the tool that we have. It is the healing aspect of our experience. All that time in your life, the 30 some odd years that I tried to get you to recognize was probably only 15 or 16 years. I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you disclosed all of that. um, that how we design our lives is according to a specific design that is created by what's called an archetypical mind.
Okay.
And an archetypical mind is a blueprint for how we process thoughts.
Okay.
In our entire system of consciousness, this archetypical mind guides the nature of our experiences by virtue of how we process thoughts. And one of the basic elements of it is that we are required to create what's called a hierophant, which is nothing more than a false perception of self.
Mm,
It's an ego, it is our identity, it's who we think we are. But it's false because it's based upon our experiences. We are consciousness. All of consciousness is motivated to get more of what we like. Nobody wakes up in the morning and the decision, gee, I'm going to go out and get more of what I don't like today. That may be your experience, but that's not your motivation.
right.
And so we erroneously perceive that the world can give us more of what we like. And so we create this hierophant, this identity, in order to trick the world into giving us more of what we like. In order to make this identity effective, our awareness, which is an inherent characteristic of our beingness, has to be pointed outside of us because I have to look at you to see how you're responding to my identity so I can modify my identity to make it more effective in tricking you. And awakening, which apparently you had, was that first point in our life when we invert that same awareness, but we invert it and begin to look inside and realize that, I may be having conventional success, but I'm not happy.
Right.
And you don't know that if you don't point that awareness inside. You just
Right.
keep doing the same thing over and over and over until you have that awakening. And all the processes that you're describing that you use enhance that inwardly directed awareness to allow us to become aware of what we have created by virtue of this hierophant or this identity that are perpetuating our experiences because we're magnetic. We don't create experiences. We don't create thoughts. We're magnetic. We attract our
We
experiences
attract. Absolutely.
and we attract what we need to become aware of within ourselves to heal. And so, you describe multiple experiences of traumas, and what distinguishes a trauma from a stressful experience. A stressful experience, a stress period, is anything that challenges the authenticity of this identity that we create.
Mm.
And it's a spectrum. So it's anything, if you, for example, you like creaming your coffee in the morning and you forgot to get cream last night, and so you have to drink your coffee black that morning. Very minor stress, but it's still stressful because it's on the spectrum. It's something you don't like relative
Right.
to something that you do like.
Right.
The opposite extreme of that is something that we deem to be traumatic. And the reason that we deem that to be traumatic is because that experience is so challenges the authenticity of our identity, which again is who we think we are, that we're unable to adjudicate that experience at the time that we're having it. And so when you're describing the healing of your traumas by virtue of desensitization methods,
Yes.
then what you're doing is you're allowing your psyche, your mind, to adjudicate those experiences that you were unable to adjudicate at the time. And
Right.
when you do that, you're taking the emotion off the experience,
Yes.
which allows you to retain the memory. And you don't want to get rid of the memory because the memory was valuable to create who you are today. But you want to take the emotion off of it so it's no longer an obstacle
Absolutely.
to your appreciation of it.
Absolutely, Dean. That's
Okay?
exactly, you said it in 1,000 words, way better than I did, but yes, absolutely.
Okay. Your period when you were in addiction,
Hmm.
and you used, by your description, you used a variety of substances.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
does anybody use a substance?
To
Feel better.
almost to feel numb. In
Well,
my
yeah,
mind, it was
but that
different.
isn't that feeling better than the pain and suffering that you're feeling, the stress that you're feeling before?
It was honestly, yes, and I didn't like doing drugs. I didn't like it. I chose to do them because I hated life. So I guess
What did you hate?
yeah, it caused me more stress. It caused me more suffering
It does.
in every way. I mean, financially, spiritually, personally, and mentally, everything. It caused
But
me
you
to,
numbed it, but you were numbed by it.
I
And so
was
you
numbed by
didn't
it.
feel the heaviness of what you had created.
Yeah.
And didn't what you create, wasn't that heaviness? Didn't that feel heavy? And you compare that to what you feel now.
I'm so light today.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, night, we got the dark and we got the light. I'm all feeling. From the moment I wake up, it's like I get up and I start my prayers. I'm like, whoo, I'm all my gratitude prayers, like, hey,
Well,
let's go.
that's the feeling of healing.
Yes.
That's how you know that, when I work with patients, and I, invariably, their distinction when I finish my process that I do with them,
Hmm.
my question is, how do you feel? And they invariably say, I feel so much lighter. Yeah,
Oh,
because that's emotional baggage that you're carrying.
yes.
Literally, it has weight.
Literally.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Your perceptions, you describe in your website information that you underwent significant healing from religious trauma.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the perceptions of who you are today, or who you were then too? You just weren't aware of it. Who we are in relation to the creation that we experience. What conclusions have you arrived at?
That, okay, for me, this is personally, I do believe in consciousness. I believe everything, my spiritual experience, I think because people kept telling me, you can't be a Christian. You were born gay. You can't, you're an abomination. You're going to hell. I ran away from any form of creator, higher power, Jesus. I ran away.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say this. I was chased. I was chased. Like, no, 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 come here. Like, whether it was in my mind or whether it was real, for me, I have to say 1,000%, I believe it was real. I believe that the creator, the I am that I am, because I would ask all these questions, and he would say, I am that I am the creator, I am the Christ, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I was like, okay, but do you love me? And yes, I've made you perfect. And every time I would ask questions, it would always be of love and healing and forgiveness and peace. And whatever was happening to me in this experience, where I was even like, I even, this being, God, the creator, a higher power, breathed into me and blessed me with this, what they called the Holy Spirit. That's what he said it was. It's a him. For me, it's a him. Maybe because I needed a father. Maybe because some people are like, God to me is a mother. I'm like, that's okay. I know that, my dad, said, I let you leave because I thought I was doing the right thing, letting my little daughter at 14 leave the house, watching me walk out. So I needed a father. So regardless, for me, whoever this I am, the way, the truth, and the life, I am that I am, I am the Christ, I'm all these things. It became such a father to me. And this enlightenment of him telling me, calling me by name, Fenixita, he's like my Fenixita, my little one, my beloved. And I never felt so much love in my life that I fell in love for the first time with something that is light and love, unconditional love. People would lie. They go on these stages and they grab these microphones and they're bashing people like me. But when this being, this entity is like, do not listen to them. They don't know me, Fenexita. They don't know me. You will know me, and I'm going to call you mine. And that's why I live today with such peace, because I'm loved beyond measure. I'm
Okay.
loved.
Well, we unpacked traumas a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's unpack this, if we may. Is it all right with you?
Let's
If we
do
could?
it, Dean.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Um, what you're describing is feeling,
Okay.
right? And it feels good.
It feels amazing.
Okay.
Beyond good. Beyond good.
We're all motivated to get more of what we like.
Yes.
We determine what we like by how it feels.
Yes.
You don't pull out an application and give it to whatever the experience is and here, fill this out and I'll let you know whether I like it or not. You either feel good in that moment or you don't. And if it feels good, you like it. If it doesn't feel good, you don't like it.
Yes.
What doesn't like is anything that we deem to be stress.
Yes.
And again, stress is anything that we don't like. So stress is actually our teacher, because it's
It is.
we've attracted to us that experience in order to allow ourselves to become inwardly aware of what about us we need to get rid of. We need to surrender. Buddha in his teaching said we have nothing to gain, we have lots of stuff to get rid of. Jesus said the same thing.
Yes.
We've got stuff to get rid of.
Yes.
So what is it we're getting rid of?
Stress.
We're getting, but yeah, but how do we get rid?
Anything we don't like.
Anything we don't like.
Anything that is opposite of the light, because anything dark is what I don't want to ever run to or get any kind of.
Okay, what is light?
No, I love, to me, light is love. It is a feeling of peace, joy, at times happiness, because joy and happiness are different things. Almost a stress-free, like stress-free, where you even feel, you're going back to feelings, younger, you feel vibrant, you feel strong physically, mentally, spiritually. It's just,
Feel good.
yeah,
Yeah,
confidence, even
just
confidence.
summarize, you feel good. Right?
Yes, yes. The warmth, the inner warmth.
Light is information.
Yes.
Light tells energy how to be. We are energy.
Yes.
All of creation
Yes.
is energy.
Yes.
So when we have light, when we have truthful information that tells us how to be, and that feels good as we modify ourselves, but we have to modify ourselves in order to experience that.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if you're getting the light, but you're not following the light, or you're getting untruthful information, which is darkness,
Which is darkness.
then you don't feel good.
That's right.
So a fellow by the name of, I forgot his name, Alistair, oh my God, I just had a brain lapse. Anyway, he wrote a book in the early 90s, and he's one of the, I think he's head of the theology department in Cambridge. But the book was titled The Twilight of Atheism. And the conclusions that he reached essentially were that people don't become atheists because they don't believe in God. They don't believe in the God as defined or described by religion. And so, if that's the only alternative that you have for a concept of God, then it doesn't resonate with you. It doesn't feel good. So, it's not positive light. You have, as almost everyone does, a concept of God. Even atheists have a concept of God because they have to have something that they don't believe in.
Yes, this is true.
Okay. So, in your perspective of God, is God infinite?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what does infinity mean?
Forever.
When you say it's infinite, what does that mean?
Forever. Never. It never dies. It never goes away. It's constant.
Yeah, it's
Always.
everything, isn't it?
Everything.
Okay. There's
Yeah.
nothing that can be outside of, if something is infinite, everything has to be within that infinity, right?
Everything. Yeah.
Okay. So the numeric value of infinity is 1.
Yes.
Has to be. Any other number is finite.
Any other number is finite.
So in your teachings, in your understandings, is there a God that is separate from you?
No, because what I asked, God says we're one. God, that's what God says. We are one. We are oneness.
Okay.
So I'm
All
like,
right.
oh, that means I'm one with God for
Yeah.
me.
So
Yes.
what does that tell you who you are?
Infinite.
Yes, but who are you?
Are you asking me if I'm God? I'm going to say I'm one with God
Okay. Well,
because
you're
of
going to
God.
accept that's separate, isn't it? Is God infinite?
God is infinite.
Okay. If God is infinite and infinite is everything, who are you?
I am God. You're asking me.
Uh-huh. Why do you hesitate?
Because if I was God, I would make.
Okay, the conundrum that's is humans that we have is we recognize the limitations that we have
Yes.
as humans.
Okay, because this is
And
where I was going to say, like, I would have the world with so much more love because I see a lot of division and hate and pain and suffering and death and murders. And it brings me so much sadness when I see these things. And so I'm like,
okay,
if I was God, I would not have created this. I would have created
yes, you would.
just
So that's the point. The
really
purpose of creation is so the one infinite creator might know itself by experiencing itself.
that I do believe
Okay.
as us,
So
as
we
us.
we are the one infinite creator experiencing ourselves at a range of consciousness that is deeply perceives that we are separate from the creator, which allows us the flexibility to explore all the possible ramifications of ourself infinitely and thereby fulfill the purpose of creation. And you reference the infinite love that you
Yes,
feel.
yes.
Okay. So, what is love?
Whew. Love is love is loving others even when they can't love you back. Love is
That's
patience.
loving behavior.
Yes, love is kindness. Love is
That's how
gentle.
it manifests itself. But what is love?
Love is infinite.
Yes, it is. Which
Love is
means
God.
what? Huh?
Love is God.
Love is an infant one. Love is one of the inherent characteristics of the creator.
Hmm.
And so is awareness.
So is awareness,
We
yes.
exist within a range of consciousness.
Yes.
Our task at this range of consciousness is to become awareness. And in order to permit us to do that, as well as to motivate us, because we're all motivated to get more of what we like, we
Yes.
get a periodic peek behind the curtain of what awaits us at the next range of consciousness that we will graduate to, because the same thing that we're doing with awareness, we will do with love in the next range of consciousness.
Mm.
Love is not a commodity. It is not an emotion. The only emotion is our emotion that there is our decision that this experience that I'm currently enjoying either feels good and I want more of it, or it doesn't feel good and I don't want more of it.
Right.
That's a totality of any emotion. All the things that we perceive to be emotions are conditions of being that we allow ourselves to enter into.
Mm. Yeah.
And so, what we are doing at this range of consciousness is exploring ourselves by having experiences. We learn by analogy, we learn by comparison and contrast. And so, we're designed to experience a lot of what we don't like, you most intensely in your younger years, so that you will know what you like when you do experience it.
Right.
If all we experience is what we like, then we wouldn't know what we like because we have nothing to compare it to.
And I tell you what, I love this feeling. I love being in this state of consciousness, of this love, this joy, this peace. I love it. And so I do seek more of it. So the things that I can do for myself
Mm-hmm.
and for others that continuously give me that joy and that peace, I will always do more of. And
Okay,
I will
there
give freely.
are, everyone is designed to create this false perception of self,
Okay.
this identity. Those who awaken to the realization that it's not making them happy, and they begin the process of inward directed exploration, and they begin to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And they come to you for your
Yes.
guidance. You
Yes.
experienced it. We can only be an adequate guide if we have experienced. We have to experience it for us to be part of our.
Absolutely.
And so they come to you to be a guide to get them on the path so they can assume the responsibility for their own healing and propel themselves
Yes.
along the evolutionary path, the
Yes.
enlightenment path. We're all on the enlightenment path, whether we know it or not.
Whether we know it or not, we all are. I agree with that 1000%.
Okay. So, um, our task, there are those who are leaders because they have their, well, we simultaneously exist in both the metaphysical world and the physical world.
Yes.
And I describe it to people that it's much like being on a sports team. You practice all week long and you get coaching, you get watch game films, all that stuff that sports teams do. And then you have a game and you try to remember in the game all the stuff that you learned in practice this past week. Right now, you and I are in the game.
Yes.
Okay. And when the game is over, we'll go back to the locker room and look at what we did and didn't
That's
do and all
right.
that sort of stuff.
That's right.
Everybody's on the same sports team. Um, there are those that are using that, following that analogy, that are ringers. In other words, they have to play by the same rules as everybody else that is not a ringer, but they have, you just say, more experience.
Okay.
And because of that experience, they become guides for
Mm.
those who are less experienced.
Okay.
Those that are the guides, Dolores Cannon called them volunteer. You familiar with that concept? Okay.
Yes.
They're actually wanderers, called wanderers. That's what the higher consciousness calls them.
The Wanders. Okay.
Yeah. And they are higher consciousness that agrees to incarnate as third density beings. They have to go through the same process. They don't get any special favors other than the fact that they've got in the back of their memory the recollections of a greater connectedness.
Yes.
And throughout human history, we've had millions and millions and millions. And if you find out who these more experienced contributors, volunteers have been, it's hard to believe that humans actually could tie their own shoes without their guidance from these higher beings. I hate to tell you, but you're one of those wanderers.
Don't hate to tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't hate to tell me that. That's
There are
it.
no special benefit. You
No
actually, because of the difficulties that you chose for yourself, you intended that to be an awakening.
Yes.
And so
I believe that.
As a volunteer, as a wanderer, you are fulfilling your purpose by having awakened, having had that experience, undertaken significant healing, still healing. I mean, we continue to heal. There's always more to heal from.
Lifelong.
Yeah. So at any rate, I don't know whether you wanted to know that or not, but
I love hearing that.
And
I never thought of that, and the fact that you're saying this, I something inside of me saying this is true. This
yeah,
is true. Yeah.
you have the same difficulties that everybody else has during the course of the day, but you feel that pull.
Yeah. I feel that pull. Yeah.
Okay. So keep feeling that pull
I will. For the rest of my life, I will.
and keep doing your work. So what is love?
Love is everything good. Love is not
Who
a
you
feeling.
are.
It's who I am.
It's an inherent characteristic of the Creator. It is who we are. When we feel love, it is not because we've gotten anything from anybody other than permission to surrender this erroneous perception of self long enough to feel who we actually are. You're feeling yourself. When you feel love, you're feeling your authentic self.
Yes.
The more you heal, the more you can help others heal, the more you are allowing them to feel who they already are.
Amen. Amen.
Okay?
Yes. Yes, Dean.
How do you feel now?
Still amazing. Still amazing, Dean. This conversation has been very deep. I have truly enjoyed this immensely.
Good.
And learned from you.
Well, good. And I'm fulfilling my purpose.
You are fulfilling your purpose, and we needed to have this conversation so that you could tell me, other things and help me to still continue to understand my enlightenment. All I know is, you know what? We are oneness. I am loved. We can heal ourselves, mind, body, spirit, and we can continue to grow in our consciousness. And yes, I do believe that we are creators, manifestors. We create more of what we want. Sometimes people are creating more of what they don't want because that's their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can just change that mindset and start going towards the light to feel lighter, yes, you're definitely gonna have a different perspective of life.
And we do that because it feels good. Just very simply. I mean, there's no other motivation other than, gee, it feels better than all that other stuff that I've felt before now.
Yeah.
And it keeps getting better. That's why
it keeps getting better.
Yeah. I tell my meditation students, invariably people come to meditation running away from the stick. Something doesn't feel good. And if you're diligent with your meditation, you will reach a point where and I use the reference of getting a bite of the apple. And I had a student several years ago that said, I don't really care for apples, but I really like lasagna. Okay, so you got a bite of the lasagna, whatever. And from that point, your motivation transforms. Instead of running away from the stick, you're chasing the apple.
Yes.
Or chasing what feels good.
Yeah.
And so your motivation change and your healing accelerates.
Yes.
Because your motivation changes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And meditation is huge in my life. It is huge.
Well, you were talking about hypnosis and you were talking about NLP. Meditation is the foundation for all of those.
It is the foundation for all of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. All you're doing and all that meditation is inwardly inverting that awareness.
That's right. That's
all it is.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, Phoenix. I've enjoyed it tremendously.
Tremendously, Dean. I'm so grateful to have met you. This was amazing. This was perfect. This was meant to be.
Good, good. Things don't happen by accident.
No, no, they don't.
We perceive that they do, but whether we perceive them good or bad, they're intentional
They're intentional.
to bring us messages that we need.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Dean.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to click us off, and if you will hang on, we can chat for a minute afterwards. Okay?